Hey guys, it's Scott with Scottie B Cards, and in this video I want to talk about the 2022 baseball rookie class and discuss how this could be the best rookie class ever. That's a bit dramatic. The best rookie class ever. I said it because there's a lot of circumstances that might make this a very, very good rookie class. I would say the top rookie classes from recent memory, we have 2018. We had Acuna, Soto, Shohei Ohtani, Gleyber Torres, Rafael Devers, Walker Buehler, and more. Many more. I didn't even say probably the ones that you like. 2014, we had Mookie, we had DeGrom, we had Xander Bogaerts, we had Jose Ramirez, Jose Abreu, and all these different players. 2013 had Arenado, Yelich, and Garrett Cole. And then you had 2011, which had Mike Trout, Paul Goldschmidt, Jose Altuve, Charlie Blackmon, Anthony Rizzo, JD Martinez, and so forth. This year, I think, is primed to be similar to those years. And I'm going to show you the players I think are going to make up this amazing rookie class and discuss why or why not it may happen. So there are reasons to believe. Here are the reasons I'm believing that this could actually be the case. There's a huge influx of minor league talent that is ready to debut due to COVID. COVID basically ruined the development of a ton of different prospects because they could not really participate in 2020. And then in 2021, they really got in, hit it hard, did all these things, played the minor league games, and now we're at a point where we actually could have all these top prospects debuting at the same time for various reasons. Partially because they're finally ready now that they had a year and a half or so to get some minor league development. Teams are incentivized to play young players for draft pick compensation. In the recent CBA, there is a deal if a player gets top 3 in Rookie of the Year or MVP voting, they get extra draft picks. So teams are actually incentivized to have a player play as long as they can during the regular season because they could get top draft picks. And if that player performs well, it's good for the player as well because if he wins Rookie of the Year, then he'll get an extra year of service time. This is what the Major League Baseball Players Association did to try to help with tanking. And that's where we're at now. And because of that, teams are calling up players that normally they would leave in the minors for an extra year of control. But now we're not seeing that. The Pirates just did that with O'Neal Cruz still because the Pirates are lame. I'm in the same boat as you Pirates fan, but it's still lame they did that. Rockies would have done the same thing. But either way, teams are now incentivized to actually play the young players early, which is good because it won't be the Wander Franco, the Jordan Alvarez situation where they debut mid-May and then the Baseball Players Association tells Topps to hold them out till the next year. If they debut in mid-June, the Baseball Players Association will tell Topps to basically hold them out till the next season. But if they can debut in April or May, then they will be in Series 2 or Topps Update, which is awesome because a lot of these players are already going to be there. And once we have this entire checklist together, let's say in a Bowman's Best at the end of the year, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be an amazing set. More playoff spots means more teams want to compete, and the more teams that want to compete means they're going to get the best talent in the organization on their roster, which is where we're at now. These are all new things that have never really been around in the existence of baseball to this point. You know, the huge influx of talent. Then we have teams are incentivized, and on top of that, there's more playoff spots, which means more revenue for the club, which is really what baseball's all about for the owners. For us, it's about a fandom, and we love it. But overall, they want more money, and to get more money, they have to make the playoffs, and now it's more obtainable than ever with the 12 playoff teams being instituted. Some players are already being called up. That's another reason to believe. It's already happening. Bobby Witt Jr., Hunter Green, Spencer Torkelson, Riley Green would have been called up, but he hurt his foot and so forth. So now I'm going to show you some of the top prospects that are going to be rookies this year and how it's going to be important. The first one's Wander Franco. He's already debuted. He's going to be in sets all year this year, which is fantastic for us because it makes the hobby more fun. When the hobby's more fun, more people join the hobby. When more people join the hobby, it helps all of our card values go up and so forth. The last few years, rookie classes have had really a few good players. This year is going to have a lot of good players. And Wander is one of those players that could be a top 10 baseball player soon. He could have major impact, debut at age 20. This is age 21 season. I know he struggled in spring training, but if he can become good, that's going to be really fun for everybody's values. So I didn't really go over Wander Franco's stats, but that's because he's already debuted, so I don't really want to go too deep into them. But I want to talk about Bobby Witt Jr. He made the Kansas City Royals opening day roster. The thing about Bobby Witt Jr. is he's one of the most highly touted prospects in the last 10 years. And yes, his OPS may not be as high as you would like, same with his batting average, but he basically had last year a 30-30 season. I think he had a 30-30, but then they canceled the game where he got his 30th stolen base, and because of that, he only had 33 and 29. But look at this season. 33 home runs, 97 RBI, and 29 stolen bases in only 124 games played between AAA and AA. That's really good. And on top of that, he's shown it in spring training. He has almost a 1200 OPS. I know some of these pitchers aren't necessarily big league talent because there's a lot of prospects, but they're still either quadruple A players, meaning they've been in AAA for a long time, or they are big league pitchers. And this just shows Bobby Witt Jr. is ready to make that jump. He is a consensus top 5 player in all of baseball. According to some lists, he's number 1. According to Baseball America, he's number 3. And because of that, he's going to be in Series 2. Him being in Series 2 is really exciting because there's going to be some good players. I haven't even listed a lot of people on this list that have like moderate potential that could be big, like Seth Beer, for example. He's someone I don't have in this presentation, but I'll give him a shout out now because he'll also be in Series 2 because he's in Inception, he's in Heritage, but he's not in Series 1. Same with O'Neal Cruz. It's the same situation. It's going to be a great set. An update is making to be the same situation because of players like Julio Rodriguez. There is no definitive proof or answer that he will be with the Mariners early enough to have rookies this year, but I think there's a good chance. If he can debut in May, there's a very good chance he'll have rookie cards in Series 2 or Topps Update. And if he does, again, this is going to be so big for the hobby. I hope so badly they do not hold him back until 2023 Series 1. If we have Wander, Bobby Witt Jr., and Julio Rodriguez rookies all in the same set, like Topps Chrome, for example, can you imagine the potential in those boxes? It'd be huge. One of the biggest again since 2018 with Soto, Acuna, and Ohtani. But either way, this is the prospect I am most high on. I do not buy many prospects just because I have a lot of PCs of different players and I have a hard time allocating money there because they're so expensive now. He hasn't played in AAA yet, but in AA, I think he's doing just fine. He hit a cool 347 with a 1,000 OPS with only 13 home runs. He'll get those numbers up as he ages, and he's just a all-around good player. Hits the ball over the field. Here's his complete minor league stats. You can see 331 batting average and a 955 OPS. He's a game-changing prospect for the Mariners. Good for the freaking Mariners to actually have this talented of players. Kelenic didn't play great last year. Really, really bad, to be honest. September was okay, and he could bounce back, and if he does, with Julio Rodriguez in the outfield, and you have Jesse Winkler in the outfield, it will make him a very sought-after rookie in a lot of sets. And if we actually look at his OPS in spring training, he hit 370. His OPS is 1137. That's really good again. With 2 home runs, we saw his insane power. His bat speed is unreal. I think he hits balls like at 116 miles an hour off the bat, which is like Giancarlo Stanton territory. You know, Ronald Acuna does similar things like that. But he is, again, a consensus top 5 prospect, number 3, number 3, number 2. So hopefully these 3 players are going to be what really carries rookies this year. But there is more. Adley Rutschman, number 1 according to Baseball America, and number 2 against Major League Baseball and Baseball Prospectus. He's also going to be debuting this year. I hope it's early enough. He was potentially going to make the opening day roster, but he got hurt. I think it was a bicep or a tricep injury, and he won't make the opening day roster, but there's a good chance he debuts again before June. The Orioles, who are a rebuilding team, have huge incentive to have him finish and then get extra draft picks. And for that reason, I think Adley Rutschman will probably be in Series 2 or Topps Update. If we look at his minor league stats as a catcher, he has a 278 batting average, 871 OPS, and 160 games, so basically 1 full Major League Baseball season, 27 home runs, 101 RBI. He's good. He was really good in college, as you can see, and he's a little bit older. He'll be age 24 going into this season, which is older to invest in, but this is the type of player that makes a checklist go from good to great. You have a couple top people and a lot of checklists, but you have a couple heavy hitters like him as well below them, maybe like not A tier, but B plus tier with Adley Rutschman. That makes that checklist go from good to great, and I think that's what he's going to do this year for Major League Baseball. The next player, Spencer Torkelson. He already made the opening day roster, and he is starting at first base. Again, consensus top 5 prospect. His minor league stats aren't as impressive, but he only played in 12 games, so that's not that much. But if you look at his NCAA stats, they are godly. Look at these. A 1,300 OPS his senior year, essentially, with a 340 batting average. And if we look at all of his collegiate numbers, 1,100, 1,200, 1,100, 1,500, 1,300, those are really good. He's already heading into his age 22 season, and to debut for the Tigers that early is a good sign for Hall of Fame potential, because when you debut earlier, it allows you to accumulate the stats you need. I go on about that all the time, but that's why it's important to have Spencer Torkelson there as well. Also makes me feel really bad. I'm 27 and all these players are doing so much more with their lives than I am. Sure, you all feel the same. But either way, he had a okay spring training. He actually had a home run today in spring training, and he's a good player. He'll be maybe not this year the number 1 guy, but he could be a guy, kind of like Yordan Alvarez, a slugger. And I don't know how his defense at first is, but I'm assuming it's league average, and if it's league average, he's going to be a great ball player for the future. Then we have Riley Green, another prospect for the Tigers. He's also a top 5 to 10 prospect according to all the major publications. He got hurt just barely. I think he broke a bone in his foot. Does not need surgery, but instead of being in Series 2, he might be an update, or they might hold him back until 2023 Series 1, that is. Unfortunately, he was doing so well in spring training. A 429 batting average, 1548 OPS. I know the sample size is extremely extremely small, but either way that they can show they can do this is great in making the opening day roster, and he was potentially going to, but now he's held back. Either way, between AA and AAA last year, he's actually better in AAA. 954 OPS, 308 batting average. He has power potential as well, and the Tigers team is going to be insane. And if you can have Riley Green and Spencer Torkelson in the same set somehow, can you imagine those breaks? Oh my gosh, those spots will be so expensive. But either way, that's good. Again, if we can have all of these guys in Topps Chrome, which is possible, this could be one of the best sets in recent memory. The last one I want to point out is Hunter Green. He was a number 1 pick, I believe, for the Reds. At least their first round pick. He was in all the Bowman products in 2018. He has not had as big a success in the minor leagues as you would hope for a pitcher like Hunter Green, but I have him on here because he is making the opening day roster for the Reds, which is exciting for a franchise that traded a lot of great players just barely and doesn't have much to look forward to. Hopefully he can be a bright spot and signal a new era in Cincinnati. But either way, he already is going to be there. He'll be in Series 2 regardless, and he is the top right-handed pitcher, I believe, that's going to be debuting this year according to all these different publications. Let's just discuss the other players. Jeremy Pena is a shortstop for the Astros. Everybody's talking about him being a superstar potential. His minor league stats don't quite show that, but he's going to be starting out with the Astros heading into the season, so he'll also be in Series 2. Reed Detmers is the top left-handed pitcher in baseball. He's with the Angels. He was in Series 1 already, but he's really good. He's looked great in spring training in some games, and because of that, I have high hopes for Reed Detmers because he's young enough. Went straight from college, a couple of games in the minors, to the big leagues where he pitched last year and didn't do so hot. O'Neal Cruz is going to be a top prospect and top rookie in all of these sets as well. Nick Gonzalez also for the Pirates. Hopefully will come up early enough. I bet he'll be held out until 2023 Series 1, but you never know. Shea Langoliers, he was estimated to get there early in the season for the Braves potentially. Now he's on the Athletics in the trade that landed Matt Olson. So Langoliers, I hope he also makes it, but he might be later in the year. Same for basically everybody else on this list, but the potential outside of the players I already showed is massive. And these are just some of the players that I showed who I think could make the big leagues early enough to have a rookie card. And if they don't have it this year, they will have it in 2023 Series 1. Either way, again, look at these names. You have Riley Green, Spencer Torkelson, Adley Rutschman, Julio Rodriguez, Bobby Witt Jr., Wander Franco, and O'Neal Cruz. All these different players I already listed are going to have rookies, and this will set up an environment where we will have a good time in 2022. I made a video about 2021 rookie class being one of the worst ever. I still kind of stand by that because there's not as many like standout players. I was high on Joe Adell. I was high on a couple other players, but they didn't really quite figure it out yet, and they totally can. And there's going to be players out of that class that are going to be worth money. That's how every year is. But it's like a 2016. In 2016 we had Trevor Story, we had Corey Seager, we had a couple other great players, Mike Clevenger, Blake Snell, but it's not anybody big. And this year has the potential to be a big year. So I just wanted to show the players I'm excited about, share my thoughts. Let me know in the comments below if you agree with me or disagree. Other than that, guys, enjoy opening day. Baseball is finally here. I'm so glad we have this season. I'll see you guys in the next video.